Welcome to the Banksia Brief. It's a podcast about business tips and interviews, making a difference in your business. I'm your host, Sean Matthews, and I'm delighted to have Mark Tully, who's the MD and founder of S.T.A.R Procurement. Welcome to the Banksia Brief, Mark.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks for the opportunity to have a light-hearted discussion today, and also thanks for the vehicle that you're using to hopefully get the message out to the greater.
Absolutely. I know you quite well, but a lot of people wouldn't. So tell us a bit about your background and how S.T.A.R Procurement came around.
Yeah, sure. I guess I'll try to give you a very abridged version. I guess in short, I've been in procurement nearly all of my life. It's going up to 40 plus years. Obviously showing my age a little bit there. But look, it started back in the late 80s. Yes. So I fell into it like a lot of people do with procurement and supply chain. I guess the generation now, it's more of a constructive pipeline whereby they can get degrees and so forth. But back in the 80s, it was a thing that it wasn't known by too many people, and I just fell into it by default inside the Royal Australian Navy. And that's where my journey started. And in life when something clicks, and it clicked with me, and I felt from day one, it was just a part of my DNA. From there, I guess, I've worked in a number of companies, right up to, senior management level. But I guess I really got the opportunity to hone my skills and develop the service element of procurement, working in the hospitality industry, whereby the hospitality is fundamentally all about the people staying in the rooms and how to service those rooms and how to look after the people inside that footprint. So that gave me a great foundation to move forward on. I guess since there, I've worked at a number of companies such as the IPCA, Subway, Carnival Cruise Lines, and looking obviously in the government side of the sector of Transport New South Wales, Rail Corp. So I've had a mixture of roles and very senior roles. And how I got, into a more of a consulting role, it came about as a sort of my level of, involvement and seniority increased inside a couple of large infrastructure and resource companies. I found that we were using a number of major consultants, and those consultants were, the blue chip consultants. It's from Boston Group, Accenture, PwC, and those likes. And each of those guys, although good in what they do, I just felt there was a gap out there in the market for someone else to do a little bit, concise, aligned with, company's culture, but fundamentally doers, talk the talk and walk the walk. And with that sort of gap, I decided to go out and create a procurement consulting company. We certainly, with S.T.A.R, it's only been going, the last 14 months, and with S.T.A.R Procurement, it comes with a background of a comprehensive team of people, right across category managers and analysts and support team here in Australia and also in India. So
just on that, with S.T.A.R, what does the S.T.A.R acronym stand for?
Yeah, good question, Sean. I guess with us procurement people and what we live and breed, which is our bread and butter, we adopt a methodology by, we look at everything in a structured way. And with that structured way, it's measurable, yeah? So with that measurement, I created S.T.A.R under the acronym of situation, task, action, result. So that's an acronym that's well used out there. I guess it's well used not only with procurement, also recruiters and so forth, to fundamentally tell that story, and tell the story which is measurable, clear and concise, equals an outcome. So with everything we do, we adopt, I guess, a Six Sigma program within S.T.A.R, whereby we're constantly reviewing, we're constantly innovating, we're constantly looking to what we did before and how we can do it better this time. And that goes right throughout the supply chain, everything from the commodities checking to look at the frequencies of what the best buy is, right up to, I guess, the manufacturing, checking out the manufacturing, I guess how that's done, if it's done to best practice, the aid equipment, we're inside the manufacturing, the freight, the packaging, and right through to the distributor. So we run the microscope across everything. We check everything. We challenge everything. And that's what we do as a procurement company. And look, I guess with my team, they had a broad range of experience right across the board. Everything from QSR right through to major infrastructure and resource companies. So with that, obviously, and also with our business partners, our clients, we've built up a tremendous amount of IP. So with the IP, we're constantly evolving on a daily basis. We're constantly aggregating our spend volumes. And with that benefit, we apply that to our clients.
So with the services you provide, what can you expand a little bit on that across the board? I know that you do a lot, you've got a lot of resources within your organisation to assist a lot of companies with their challenges, and especially in the procurement area. What sort of services do you provide?
Yeah, I guess we provide a number of services which fits into our umbrella. We look after all streams of clients, where it's a client that's a non-profit organisation where they only spend a little bit, and we also look after larger clients out there where they're spending millions and millions of dollars. Each of those clients are treated equally the same with myself and my team. I guess the key things that we look at as a procurement company, we'll range it right across all the different categories of indirect and direct spend, everything from electricity, gas, you're looking at your waste services, you're looking at your various different cleaning consumables, equipment, right through to your FM facilities, you're looking at your hydraulic companies, also your companies that do the mechanical HVAC, and then right through to construction. So we work with a number of major construction companies embedded with our clients to look obviously the end-to-end construction all the way through from the planning, architects, and the detailed bill of quantities. And through that, we are engaged, working hand to hand, and fundamentally with my team, we become that extension. And we become that extension of delivering results. And what is those results? Major amount of obviously cost savings, innovation, process efficiencies, and basically take the complexity out of the supply chain. And always evolving. And with that involvement, obviously, one of our mission statement is cost down, revenue up. So if we can create, deliver 20, 15% cost savings, that's hard cost savings, that's extra revenue that companies can use on other marketing, or extra revenue in the PL, let alone the soft savings that we deliver right across the board through the innovation of P2P and so forth, by taking the hard copy element, making it all digital, making it all, online, transparent, which adds governance compliance. And then as a result of that, less manpower to be used on the back end to review stuff.
That's really interesting. And I guess the other areas you look at is trying to create revenue streams for organizations as well. It's you can create cost savings and cost benefit, but there's other alternatives on the other side, where if you work with your suppliers and build the relationship, that you can help each other with efficiency gains and of course marketing budget funds and all sorts of things that can be accessed.
Yes, massively, and more so over the last sort of 2.5 years since COVID. Once COVID hit, everyone was in a state of shock. Supply chain dried up. The commodities dried up out of China and other areas of Europe are very hard to get. Manufacturing stopped, so the world was at a standstill. But we still had to operate. As a result of that, a lot of the companies, a lot of our clients brought us in to review their supply chain, look at disaster recovery programs, I guess, throughout each of their major suppliers and internally as well for staff and resourcing. But more importantly, it brought home the opportunity to have that collaborative business partnership with your suppliers, whereby you can lean on and work together to get that outcome and work to a compromise where you can have supply chain up and running, mobilized to another location, utilizing a different area of manufacturing. And also with COVID, although it was, we're still going through the back end of that at the moment, it really did, I guess, with inside procurement and supply chain, it brought home the fact of the inefficiencies that we do have here in Australia and New Zealand. You look 10, 15 years ago, we were a powerhouse in manufacturing. We had lost that. So now we see a lot of major companies bringing manufacturing here back into Australia, which is really exciting for Australia and New Zealand. Obviously, we're evolving very, very quickly, and technology is evolving very, very quickly as well. I guess with the amount of the kids coming through the market and looking at the IT and looking, obviously there's an industry there of coding and things like that. They're really creating a difference. Australia is batting above its average out there in the world rankings. We're constantly innovating. We're constantly bringing new products to the world from a down under perspective. So I guess with the collaborative relationships and with your business partners, just getting back to your question, Sean, running the microscope all the way through back to the commodity suppliers and also the OEMs, there's a massive myriad of pool of untapped, opportunities in there to do a partnership. You can look at things such as aligning yourself with marketing areas, with different brands and different products, looking at, at the common thing, which a lot of companies, a lot of procurement companies do look on, is rebates, and those rebates can be obviously big challenge, and then a part of the negotiation. You can look at obviously volumetric rebates, which if you had a ceiling where you're doing $1 million the previous year, if you go over $1 million, you get the client can get some skin in that game, and also efficiencies through the ordering as well. Obviously, a lot of the orders, if you can put an order through which is quite bulky and at a large number, it helps. It helps in the back end, and also helps on the distributor to deliver on that. Obviously, you put in a lot of orders through, there's no efficiencies in there. So each of those key elements that I touched on, marketing, rebate, volumetric rebates, and also order size, can deliver a cost revenue back to a client, and make, it really makes the procurement department a cost generating department, which a lot of companies just see procurement as an add-on. It really can turn things around very, very quickly by adopting those key indicators that I touched on.
Yeah, so true. And you've recently just posted a presentation on tail end spend, which is another area that gets underutilized and under acknowledged, because that can certainly grow to be quite an expensive chain of events in your own business if you've got a long tail and a lot of expense covered up in order processing and mistakes and product duplication and so forth. If you're not managing that end of your business, you can be in for a bit of strife that will bite you on the backside, so to speak.
Yeah, look, tail end spend. It's an opportunity for companies to manage that correctly. Obviously, with S.T.A.R, we've got the capacity and capabilities to do that. Also, we've got the metrics inside for data cleansing. But with the tail end spend, from my point of view, it must be a worry to a number of C-level executives, whereby there's a lot of risk there, a lot of governance compliance risk,
Mm.
but more importantly, the application of new suppliers coming on board. Yeah, if they're not going through the evaluation criteria and ticking off the new supplier evaluation correctly, it poses a risk back to the company. And if you're not aligning with a company that has the modern slavery, has the correct policy procedures in place, and aligned with the company culture, is just setting the company up, I guess, from a major risk point of view. And we'll say you need to look obviously at those suppliers. Although it's good to have MAR and PAR suppliers on board, but still they need to be vetted and cross-checked, to ensure that award wages are being paid. And that obviously fits into modern slavery. And all it takes is one or two I guess, out there to go to a local media agency and things like that, and then you've got the snowball effect from there, and then it's risk to your company from that point forward. So I guess, tail end is what we've been doing a fair bit recently on, and we've been cleaning it up tremendously, and obviously putting all those checks and balances in place. I guess the beauty bit us, I guess, with our capacity and capabilities and being doers, we can come in and engage, and within only a very, very short amount of time complete a project, whereby it takes a lot of our competitors up to 12 to 18 months to do. Or your internal procurement department, it may be on the agenda, and for a single procurement person or procurement team, it takes them a long time to do, whereby we can dovetail and become an extension team and obviously consult and inform along the journey, but complete the job very, very quickly.
So this gets me to my next question. What are the current challenges facing the business right now from your perspective? What are you seeing as the main challenges? I guess economic wise and socially, we're seeing some dramatic changes in Australia. What do you see as the key business challenges?
Oh, look, it's all throughout the news, yeah. But we're going through, a massive change, and with that change, there is some negative, but there is some positives as well. Inflation's going up. We've recently had a change of government. Oil prices are going up. Freight has been going up, but that is leveling out. But with those challenges, it gives the opportunities then for companies to take holistic review across their supply chain and tighten things up. So that brings an opportunity for companies like ourselves to become an extension of our client's team and tighten that up. But those challenges are worldwide currently, which everyone is facing. But you really need to work collaboratively with your business partners to look right across the supply chain and areas whereby you are looking, I guess, with every single key indicator, right from your commodities all the way through to the end product, of having a surety that they can deliver that product, but also a surety that should pricing come down as well, you obviously get the opportunity to take that on board. But over the next 6, 12, 18 months, things are going to stabilise.
Mark, what do you say to businesses who say they don't need any outsourcing support, or that everything's okay, their contracts are in play, they're basically saying that everything's nothing to see here, all is good? How do you deal with that sort of, because you could get that from a lot of organisations who really don't want to share that they may be challenged by a few things in their own organisation. So how do you overcome that?
Yeah, good question, Sean. I guess we get that a lot. Across a number of different prospective clients and industry as a whole. We're fundamentally, a lot of organisation, particularly with a centralised procurement team, think they've got everything watertight and under control. But, I guess with us, we ask for the opportunity to undertake a health check to ensure that they are on point and they are getting, obviously, what they say they are getting regarding costs. So I guess with that health check, even opportunity to review one or two categories it just prizes open the door for further investigation throughout the client supply chain. I guess we also have a number of different prospective clients just slam the door on us, and that's the nature of business. But in saying that, I guess through the vehicle of advertising and reputation, which is our big thing that we ride on, whereas only as good as our last job and our last review, we soon find that we do get a call or an email through, hey, can you take a look at this? What's your thoughts? What's your recommendation? And then as a result of that, we look obviously at 1, 2, or 20 categories or other areas of concern, which may be around the risk element of modern slavery. A lot of companies just don't have the bandwidth to look at modern slavery. For us, we've done it. We've tested it. We've got the capacity. We've got the business know-how, but also we've got the metrics how to ask the right questions and the right vehicle around that as well. Instead of the stable survey monkey, we've got other sort of vehicles that I guess similar to an ERP that deliver a more, I guess, easier result all the way through from the end user to procurement and obviously to council, general counsel, and other areas that fits into there.
Yeah, basically a lot of organisations don't have that resource or bandwidth to sort of cover off a lot of things, although they're equally as important. I mean, when you look at corporate social responsibility, modern slavery, Indigenous supply, all of these things, well, if organisations are focused in that space, it sort of attracts employees to their organisation as well. So there's a bit of a win-win situation. And I guess from your perspective, you really assist with the whole benchmarking of, if you think you're doing okay, then you really need to have a review of things because there's always things that can be improved. I think if you sat there in the status quo and you say that things are we're all good, but then things prop up. So it's always good to have a good look at that. And I know that with your business now, you're doing procurement health checks, which is as important. And you're getting good results. So can you tell us a little bit about the procurement health checks?
Yeah, sure. Look, I guess any organisation and any business that sort of lay on the hands and things right is going right. They really need to take a deeper look and I guess have hand on heart. Things are going right. And what we do is health checks. So health check is run in the microscope right across the procurement processes, the way that they're doing their buying, what they have underneath contract, managed and non-contract, looking at that ERP system, look at the process, look at the systems, and fundamentally see if they've got the right team fit for the organisation. So our procurement health check runs across I guess a number of different streams with a lot of questions and answers. It only takes a day or two for us to come in face to face, chat with generally a senior level executive, run through the questions, take some data away, and then we come back a report. And we know we can turn that report around within two or 3 weeks. And that's digesting a lot of data. And that's the beauty about S.T.A.R. We've got the capacity and capabilities to do that. But touching back on your point on social enterprise, what's so exciting, I guess, for the last 12 months, we've seen a lot of companies really adopt the social enterprise by aligning themselves with the NCIS, as it sits at companies. And there's such a pool of, I guess, labour in there where, a lot of these organisations have such talented guys and expertise guys and really, really hone and skill to look at analytics, to look at different areas. And that skill base isn't untapped. And just recently, it's starting to untap, whereby a lot of employers are bringing in these organisations to bolster the pool of source of companies, and these individuals are really creating the difference. And because it's just they are solely focused and they are so on point of what they're doing, it's just incredible, and their attention to that unbelievable. It's far surpassed of what I've seen of all the individuals, and And really, that's a massive pool that people should be looking at. I guess we're at the moment also we're banting on the soapbox of labour and the shortage of labour which is present currently in Australia. We've got an opportunity to change things around significantly. And meanwhile that the government should relax the rules on pensioners so pensioners can come back to work and do a lot more hours. And then obviously with that they get taxed and that obviously bolsters up the revenue. And also the back end with the kids coming on through, maybe lowering that age a little bit as well will assist, but obviously it's need to be cordial with the modern slavery so we aren't exploiting kids, but everything needs to be paid within line of fair work. So that end-to-end stuff that I touch on in line with NDIS avenue, I think that those three areas will be a game changer and really pick up the way that we, and really bolster, the current unemployment and obviously the lack of resourcing on labour that we're facing at the moment.
Just on that, with S.T.A.R Procurement, how do you differentiate yourself from the other consulting firms about S.T.A.R? How do you stand out? Why do you stand out?
Yeah, look, a good question. Obviously, there's a lot of procurement or consulting firms out there. We generally play in our swim lane that we know. But I guess that the key thing, about us, which is a game changer over our competitors. We not only talk the talk, we walk the walk. So we come in, we do that a health check, we analyse the data, we take that through our data metrics. We've got a massive spend cube. We analyse everything from first, second tier right down to 7 tier. And to put that in context, 7 tier is a line data of a consumable line. We look at that what we purchased last time, and with our buying power we apply that technique. But we don't just only give a recommendation of what it should be. We actually get in there, we roll out our sleeves, we become an extension of the team, and actually we do it. We carry all the risks and with the team as well. We get in there, we mobilise, we go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, we repack, we unpack and we repack. And then at the end of the program, we obviously deliver, the keys, so to speak, to the Ferrari. And then from there, the organisation can have their own procurement team and then they pick up the pieces. But we just don't leave it there. We continuously review. We look at what we say is coming on through. We do spot audits. We ask to be involved in future things such as business reviews, but also we add value training and insights back to the organisation as well. And that's our collaborative partnership. Although, the terms of the business partner agreement may have ended, but we don't see it ending there. It's a long-term partnership with all our clients that we have. And as a result of that, that's how we've sort of grown and we stepped up the ladder. Because it's all about reputation and what we say is what we do, and we deliver on those results. But those results that we do deliver, we deliver it in, a very, very short time. And just recently, with one client, we took a tail-end review. Normally that would take, a good 9, 10, 12 months. But we did that in 4 months. And in between that 4 months, we had Christmas shutdown, and then obviously these major supply chain issues with COVID. And still out of that end review, and still with obviously the price, restrictions, we've managed to get price reductions of up to 9 to 12%, and also, bring that tail end percent band all the way up and aggregate the volume and get it all underneath a managed process in a very, very short amount of time. And that's just our bandwidth of our team to be able to do that.
I love the fact that there's a level of accountability. A lot of consulting firms tend to provide a lot of recommendations, but they don't necessarily follow through with the necessary change management that needs to take place. There's a lot of organisations that'll do that. it's refreshing to see that S.T.A.R has got a different perspective on things. So that's really good. And I'm sure a lot of businesses would enjoy having that conversation with you at some point.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. It's, change management is obviously the hardest and people don't want to change. But, with new reviews, there comes the opportunity of change. Yes, you need support definitely from C-level to do that. Without the support, it's a little bit harder, but it can be done. But obviously, we've got proven, methodology of implementing that change. But with anything that we do, we keep our client consulted and informed and along the journey of change, and they are instrumental in that change that we do. Although we're providing all the resources, we're providing all the metrics and all the tools to make that change, but they are also a part of that journey as well. And because they are a part of that journey, they see it from start to finish. And once we finish, they can hold their head up proud to be a part of that collaborative experience with S.T.A.R.
Well, it sounds like an amazing business doing amazing things for the business community and really making a change. So thanks again, Mark, for your time today. It's been great to hear about the great work that you and your team at S.T.A.R Procurement are doing for the business sector and with partnerships, with their partnerships and procurement solutions. I'm sure a lot of people will get a lot of value from that in the near future. S.T.A.R Procurement is definitely a procurement service you can't afford not to have. And so I would suggest you get in contact with Mark, but more importantly, go and visit his website, starprocurement.com.au, and there'll be some details on this podcast below in which you can reach out to Mark Tully. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.